Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And today I want to talk about DC Legends. Now, I know I made a video about this game about a month and a half, almost 2 months ago, and I was deriding the game and complaining how Warner Brothers and DC has kind of let the game go, hasn't really put much effort into it, and are genuinely kind of being lazy about their development and not really putting much into each update. Just a couple of new characters and a lot of broken content, especially when it had to do with PvP, which is the main mode of this game. But I wanted to make this video today to say that I was actually wrong, and I wasn't actually wrong at the time, but I'm wrong now. Believe it or not, in the very short period of time between my last video and today's video, quite a bit has changed in the game. Nothing has actually changed, or very little has changed as far as new content is concerned. I will talk about the new content and some new creative things that Warner Brothers and the development team behind this game is doing. But they've done some other key things that have really changed the face of this game in a big way. And so I wanted to reflect those changes, and I wanted to point out where I was wrong or where I am wrong now. And I wanted to give you a renewed perspective on this game in case you are looking for or thinking about playing this game, or if you used to play it and you wanted to pick it back up again. I think it's more free-to-play friendly now than it has ever been, and it looks like it will continue to be that way, although it is still very expensive to get characters outright. There's many more mechanics now, and it appears that with each coming update, Warner Brothers, or whatever the development team behind this game, is more willing to put high level and rare and sought after characters like Arcus, like Catwoman, in these hero challenges, which makes them very farmable. In addition, they've put a lot of fan favorite characters into the hero challenge every month. So they have a pattern now where they basically release at least 2 characters, one of them which will be kind of the paywall or the more expensive character for the update. In this case, we got John Constantine. So if you guys like Justice League Dark, he's in the game. He's quite powerful, very cool, nice character effects. And then the free character is Etrigan. I already have him at Legend 1, or I'm very close to Legend 2, and I should be able to get him to Legend 3 or Legend 4 with very little effort and very little investment on my part. In addition to those changes that the developers have made, they've introduced another new character who I know is also a fan favorite, which is Martian Manhunter. And right now he's available exclusively to the top 100 alliances. So this is another cool thing that they've done in the game that has got me pretty excited, and really introduces and pushes the competitive aspect of the game, which used to be just PvP, but they're now developing a team-based competition between alliances and who can have the highest score every week. And basically at the end of the week, you will get a reward. The reward used to be that alliance tokens at the top there, or the alliance essence, excuse me, which you would then use in the alliance shop for various rewards like items, or rather resources, energy sources, or biometrics or shards for characters. Now they're introducing new characters exclusively through the alliance missions. So it makes these alliance missions, which requires you to do specific tasks with specific characters, and it tracks your progress compared to the rest of your alliance on the right hand side. It will then give you those character shards as a reward, which I think is a really cool new way of giving out characters. It creates a ton of competition, as I already stated, between the top 100 alliances, and unfortunately my alliance is now ranked 523. And to put it in perspective, to show you how popular this has been, the week before this was introduced, my alliance was sitting at around 150 rank. So we dropped more than, or almost 400 ranks because of all of the competition and fervor and excitement coming up to get people's hands on Martian Manhunter and get his shards this way. For the first week, it's only available to the top 100 alliances, and then as of next week, so in about 7 days, it'll be open to all alliances as a reward. So I think this is a really interesting dynamic and a great way to push not only the idea of teamwork and cooperation among alliance members, but also to develop your roster evenly so that you always have enough characters that are required to get points and to do the Alliance missions every single day. Because if you're missing characters, let's say I didn't have Etrigan, or I didn't have, let's say, Lobo or Grundy, as you can see there, who each offer +2, then I would be losing out on points every time I completed PvP matches, and I would be getting less overall per win for my Alliance, which is then inefficient. In addition to these changes, I do want to highlight through some actual gameplay the amount of change that has occurred seemingly overnight with the PvP arena scene. I complained previously in the video I did about a month and a half ago, about Deathstroke, about Lobo, and as well about his kind of cheesy paywall counter, Red Hood, and all of the issues that those three characters had, in addition to the crashing issues that were occurring in the game when certain characters interacted with one another. Well, that has all changed. I don't know how or when exactly they fixed the Red Hood bug, but they did. They fixed the Deathstroke bug, and they also nerfed Deathstroke, which might be a bit of an unfortunate thing for some people to hear, but it was definitely something that I feel was necessary. He's now on a proper level of power. He's not too powerful, and in addition to that, we're going to power up our cyborg here and try to get some extra turn meter from his leadership. In addition, he does more in line with what he's supposed to do. He survives for a really long time, and he has a super control effects with the turn meter down, with the silence, and so on and so forth. But in addition to nerfing the kind of undisputed champion and the best character in the game for PvP, who was basically dominating the PvP boards for the past, however many months that this has been active, they introduced so many new characters, and they reworked a lot of existing characters. And I think these are the two most important things that are happening in tandem that I have to give a lot of praise for Warner Brothers about. They didn't just introduce new characters that were powerful, which then just causes everyone to get them. They also made a lot of existing characters very formidable and appealing to existing players who had them and hadn't bothered to rank them up. I'll give you a couple of examples when I get out of this mission, but I'm showing you right now Etrigan. He's pretty badass, and that's just the way it goes, and you can get him right now for free if you start playing. He's part of the monthly login event, so you'll get him for sure at least to rank 4 or 5 just by logging in, even if you can't complete any of the hero challenges. On top of characters like Etrigan, they've revamped and buffed up a lot of existing characters who were really hurting and who were really weak in terms of the overall meta. There are still definitely a lot of characters to go, but very recently they buffed up Jessica Cruz and Swamp Thing. I don't see a lot of positive reaction to Jessica Cruz, so I think they could have done more. But for example, Swamp Thing, they turned him into an absolute revive monster. He used to have a pretty niche kit. His skills were very, very specific. They mostly only helped certain kind of mend related teams and bleed related teams, but now he can basically help any kind of team because of really, really powerful passives, like he revives when he dies, and he applies a whole bunch of healing and defenses in the form of awarenesses to all his allies. So it basically makes him the character that you want to ignore and you want to kill last because of his chance to apply awareness and mends. But if you kill him last, he has a 30% chance to revive all allies. So he could literally bring his entire team back from the dead when he dies, if he dies last. And if he dies first, then you have to deal with him reviving and giving his team a whole bunch of defense and heals. So he became a really interesting character overnight, and they've just created a lot of very interesting synergies between new and existing characters. They buffed Swamp Thing to be more mend and revive focused, and that synergizes pretty well with Etrigan, who is a new character. So it seems as though whoever is working on this, the development team, are very in sync with one another, and they really understand where they want the game to go and how they want the meta, especially in terms of PvP, how they want it to evolve. A few months back, they buffed and they revamped Bane, and they made him a pretty awesome character who can ramp up, and he also has to do with mends, and now he can tie in again to this current meta. They introduced Power Girl 2 updates ago. She's a fantastic character, not overpowered per se, but when you build her correctly and you put the right team around her, and especially when you combo her with someone like Catwoman, who they then offered as a farmable character briefly, and they now will have her for the hero challenge. It just works so well in tandem. So I just wanted to put it out there for you guys who are thinking of potentially picking up this game, or if you did in the past and you wanted to look at it again. Now is probably the best time ever to come back to or start up DC Legends. A lot of fantastic characters are coming in. Martian Manhunter, Etrigan, a lot of, you know, Justice League Dark, and hopefully with this already in play, with the emphasis on reworking existing characters and creating a lot of synergies and a lot of interesting interplay in the PvP scene, this game can really blossom into the game it was supposed to be, which it still has a lot of potential to do. It's just missing, I think, 1 or 2 solid game modes to back up the heavily PvP focused arena, and then the pretty fun Red Alert daily kind of tower ladder quest challenge. So let me know what you guys think of my backpedal slash restatement of DC Legends. Let me know what you think of the game and the changes if you're already playing, if you're a longtime fan. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.